Hey boys, welcome to the podcast here. We're joined with real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
Real estate agent Tristan Herring. Nice to meet you, bro.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Thanks for coming on. I saw Tristan had a bunch of good content on Instagram and that he's local here in Saskatoon, so I thought I'd reach out to him and see if he wanted to come on the pod. And he said yeah right away, so thank you for coming on.
Yeah, dude, anytime. I know social media is a grind, so happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, it is a grind. Like even the last 3-4 weeks I've been grinding with my business and stuff. So like the podcast has kind of been on the back burner too. So I'm glad to actually sit down and film something. So
nice.
Yeah. So you were just saying kind of off camera there that you had to delete a couple posts. I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about that. Like the rules behind marketing for real estate are stricter than a lot of folks think.
Oh yeah. Like I just switched brokerages. I'm at Real Broker now. And like, let's also, to be clear, I don't push the rules of marketing
right
that bad. Like actually, if you go and look at all my content, it's all pretty well, I don't want to say vanilla, but like there's people who do some pretty risky stuff.
Right. You're not like fucking pushing the envelope too crazy.
No, like I'm not doing anything crazy. So like when you say that, people might be thinking like,
yeah.
Oh man, he's done some sketchy posts where he's like, I don't know. I just got off the phone with another realtor who like, you know, he got in trouble because he is some kind of tiny wiener joke in one of his listing videos, and I'm like, yeah, that's probably something you shouldn't say. You know?
Yeah.
We are supposed to be, you know,
professional at the end of the day.
And you know, we got codes that we got to follow. But I've never done anything quite that risky. I always try to use like other effects, and actually, that's kind of the thing about real estate marketing. You got to be really creative to like not do something so unhinged,
right?
That like you don't have to get in trouble for it. But basically, was anything that's like got your previous brokerage's name on it, if you don't delete that, and that's like a listing video, that's if you mention your old brokerage, if that post stays up, every time that gets dinged like $1,500.
Yeah. Hey,
so there was an agent that had a total of like, he came to Real Broker. There's a bigger backstory with him. He's a bit of a troublemaker, but his fines were totaling up to $60,000, and he actually got canned. Like, not only was he about to get fined, but the brokers just said, "We don't want this liability," and just got rid of him. So yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, the marketing rules in real estate. Like
what are some of the rules? Kind of.
It's hard to get super specific, but like, anybody can complain about anything. Okay, here's one that people probably don't realize that's very strict. At least Saskatchewan, it feels like Saskatchewan's tighter than everyone else, but you're not allowed to have any marketing of a property that you technically no longer have a contract for, and that could be one that you've sold. So these just solds you see posted all the time are a very gray area.
Right. Interesting.
You need the new buyer's permission to continue to promote that as sold, technically.
Right.
How often does anybody complain?
Yeah.
That's usually where the argument lands, is like, okay, is anyone going to actually report this? But some people are petty, dude. Like, people hate realtors, dude. Like, I didn't know that until I became one. I was like, oh man, like we are a hated bunch. So
I think it's any salesman, because I do sales as well.
Yeah.
And I think sales in general have some sort of a bit of a reputation, right?
Oh yeah, there's like people are on guard when they run into you. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting, eh?
But yeah, I don't know. I never understood like how bad people, like I know like one of the bigger agents in Saskatoon recently they just got dinged with like 14 grand in fines for one incident where she had like just sold. And
really?
She, you know, it was a 1.5 or greater. Like she's a luxury agent. It was maybe it was $2 million, like a nice house. And you know, that's probably her commission on that house, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that really sucks. Was that worth it? You know?
No kidding. Just to have the just sold post, eh? Like I honestly would never have thought of that. Like it's interesting. I wonder if people could come at us even when we post, because we'll hang Christmas lights, permanent lights, we do window cleaning, stuff like that. So I wonder if
what kind of sales?
I do the sales for that. So it's like we'll do permanent lights, Christmas light sale, like jobs, like we'll hang people's Christmas lights and then come and take them down, and I'll do sales for that. But I wonder if somebody could, get mad at us for posting their home after we hung the lights, right?
But you guys don't end up in the difference would be is we fall under the Canadian Real Estate Association, the Saskatchewan Real Estate Association, then there's SHREC, and somewhere in all of those different guidelines, whereas you guys would be like a small business, right, that is cleaning windows, whereas we're stuck under these tight guidelines. These code of conducts that you have to like follow, which is just like as much as we technically are independent, like we don't get treated that way,
right?
If that makes sense.
Like, everybody's still lumped together, like all the realtors, depending on, doesn't matter which branch you're with, or
like for you guys, somebody would almost have to directly sue you,
right?
Whereas for us, it's like somebody just files a complaint,
right?
Like, oh, then they get fined,
and that's all it is. That's all they got to do, eh?
Yeah, like, I think it can even be anonymous.
Yeah, hey.
It's just like, hey, fuck that guy.
Which is crazy. So how long have you been in real estate then for?
Yeah, so little over 3 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's a little longer than I actually thought.
Yeah. Actually, come to think of it, that is...
Time flies,
Time flies because, in all fairness, I haven't been practicing for more than like 2.5 or, well... I keep saying that, but I've been saying that for 6 months, so it's like... Now I've been
again, time flies,
now I've been practicing about 3 years. So I guess I have my license for like 3.5 years-ish. I guess when I did get my license, so I was a rig welder for 7 years.
Okay.
Completely different lifestyle, like sales. That's why like even like my whole, like I sell different than like other agents. Like I don't know, I can't do that scripted, pushy, I just
hard close.
I can't, I don't hard sell, I can never do. I just can't.
I'm the same way. I struggle with it, and I've even had guys who I'm close with who have tried to teach me more in sales about really trying to hard close and trying to handle objections, and I'm just kind of like, for you, if I was a real estate agent, I'm just trying to get you in the right home for you that you like, you're happy, because even that turns into more referrals and whatnot, right?
Well, and the beauty about that, and I got an agent that joined with me where he was struggling with the idea of learning some of this stuff, and I finally said at the end of the day, I was like, Zach, like you can be a salesperson in real estate, or you can build a business. I said one of them's slower to build it, but once you got it, it's big.
Yeah.
I said, if you want to go be a salesman, just sell, then your repeat business is going to be different, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And he kind of was like, oh shit, like that's, never thought of it that way. I'm like, yeah, like technically we're salespeople, but there's 2 types of realtors out there. There's like hard sell, hard close, like in your face, and then there's the ones that just build a business on a brand.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I can tell which one you're trending towards too.
Yeah.
It's easy to tell, like from looking at your profile and whatnot. Like that's basically how this is all came about. Is I saw an ad, and I've been in the market for a while. Like right now, I'm not pre-approved for my own home or anything.
Yeah.
So we're working towards just saving as much money as possible to eventually buy into commercial real estate.
Yeah.
But we do have one rental property currently going that's rented out. It's been in Yorkton for like the last year. But yeah, I saw your page and thought like, yeah, this guy doesn't seem like you seem like my kind of guy, where it'd be like, I'm not trying to just talk to XYZ who doesn't know a thing about working or doesn't know a thing. They just know about selling homes, and you know what I mean? Some of the real estate agents that I know personally are great people, but at the same time, like they wouldn't be able to tell you what a joist is or like what you know what I mean? Like so they're but they're pretty.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of dudes who they picked the real estate agent because she was hot.
Right.
And then they're like, man, I regret that. Man, I regret that. Like, what did I really benefit from that?
Yeah, no shit, right? Yeah. I got to talk to a really good looking girl there for a couple hours or a couple weeks, and then she's like, "Hey, I got your money. Peace out, buddy."
Yeah. Thanks for the $6,000.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah, exactly. So, I had a good friend too who tried selling houses in Saskatoon, and he struggled actually. I'm curious about like some of the struggles that you've went through, and then some of
tough,
the hey, like it's not a walk in the park, eh?
Well, no, it's not. Well, the thing is, if you're willing to work, it's actually not that hard. But like the most intimidating thing is nobody's gonna like force you to go do the work.
Get out of bed.
Yeah, and go talk to the same amount of contacts per day.
Yeah.
To go shoot the content, right? Like, you'd be surprised how many like really high producing realtors, like some of the ones that are starting to get 10 years in the business who didn't have to be on social media, like they're starting to fall out because like you wouldn't believe how scared they are to go on camera.
Really?
Terrified, you know? And then like there's the ones that are a long time in the business and they've adopted it, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, I guess we don't have a choice. Now we're doing this, you know? This is
Yeah.
the next trend, right? But like, I mean, for me, the scariest thing in the world is getting on the phone, right?
Really, eh?
You know, it's like making the call to the stranger. And
The
like,
cold calls.
yeah, like that's not me. Like even warm calls is like, I have to make the call, so I'll make it. But like, I'm way happier just pinging around in the DMs, you know,
Right.
the coward's way. Right? But contacts is better than no contacts. So once I got that relationship with somebody, it's just like, hey, I'm happy to talk on the phone for 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, it's that abrasive, like, why is this real estate agent calling me? It's like, I'm different. I wait for it to be a hot, like, relation before, you know, getting on the phone and going for it. The biggest struggles, well, I mean, just getting the business rolling, like getting those first couple sales are just like, it seems like such an impossible task.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's like, it's an intimidating thing to be like, so did you sell a house today? I remember my first like, okay, let's back up. My first 7 months or 6 months in the business, I was technically licensed, but I wasn't like actively working because I was up in Fort Mac.
Right.
I was working like 24 days on, or 24 nights, and then 4 days off.
Fucking ripping the night shift.
Yeah, I was crushing night shift. Like, it was crazy times. And then I'd come back from night shift. I would attend like brokerage calls, and they'd be like, "Where are you, in prison?" It's like, feels like it, but no, I'm at camp. Like,
Yeah.
and you're attending these brokerage calls, and like nobody realized you haven't slept yet. And then, I hadn't sold a house for like the first 7 months, but that's because I was working. It just, I don't know if I just didn't make the leap, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody ever prepares you for when your friends stab you in the back.
Really, eh? Yeah.
Nobody prepared me for that. So like, I got the call from another real estate agent to partner with, because let's not forget, like, most people get into real estate because they're like, I want to make money.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because like majority of realtors are dead broke.
Yeah, living with their parents even.
Probably like the young ones for sure. The young ones for sure are.
Yeah.
So majority of people don't get in, and like that being said too, like my parents live back in Bruno on a farm, right? So like I'm out solo in the city just trying to figure it out, and I just bought a house, you know? So I was like, I got a mortgage and I got payments and shit.
Yeah.
So I was like, this ain't gonna be easy. And I remember thinking like, I'm a rig welder. If I stay up here, I'll do 250. And I'm like, what do I need to make bare minimum?
Like $250K annually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do I need to make bare minimum as like a first year, like a brand new realtor to be like, I'll survive. It's like all about getting past that first year. It's like, can I just survive the year?
Yeah.
Worst case, come back up here, try it again.
Yeah.
So I got this call from another agent, and he goes, I see that you're working hard. He's like, I like your work ethic. It just seems like you need a little guidance. He's like, so why don't we just partner up? So that was great. That was probably without him, I wouldn't have ever probably made the jump. But for me, it was, I wanted to get away from that lifestyle.
Yeah, so did I. Like, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Like Fort Mac, all that shit. I never made it to Fort Mac, but I was a scaffolder for 3 years.
Yeah.
And scaffolding is like,
oh yeah,
fuck, you make money, but you're like the bottom of the totem pole on site even, whereas a welder might be at the top. And, I made good money, but like, I was like, fuck this, man. The 24-day row shifts and fucking shit like that. But anyway, continue.
No, yeah, like that, but that's it. You know what I'm talking about. You get into that crowd of people and
then the crowd is fucking rough too. And scaffolding specifically, there's a lot of guys who are out of jail and a lot of guys who are, getting into the drugs hard.
Oh,
and that's a life that's like, you become a product of the people you spend the most time with too.
Exactly.
So
you're the average of the five.
It's tough.
You're the average of the five you spend the most time with.
That's right.
The truest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I needed to get out of that as well.
Yeah.
So I was looking for a leap too. The thing for me that helped me make that leap was I had a shitty little car. I didn't hardly have any bills. My monthly bills when I was scaffolding 2 years ago were about $650 a month. Like I had my rent, my phone bill, that was it. Like I obviously had gas and food, but legit bills, it was like $650 to $1,000 a month. So I was just stacking as much money as possible. I saved 35 grand and that's what helped me take that leap.
Yeah.
But I lost it all. Like I didn't I the whole year I was just fucking running around, like didn't know what I was doing, trying to get sales, spend like 3 days trying to get a $250 sale, like stuff like that, like going door to door. And so I do know what you mean there too. Yeah. I felt like I needed that big cushion to take the leap. So,
well, I did like a reset. So like you said, you just had a cheap car. You saved a bunch of money. I had a bunch technically, but it wasn't in like Canadian accounts, if that makes sense. It was all tossed into crypto pretty heavily. And I'm like, I ain't taking that out. That's if, hell or high water, I die on this hill, okay, we'll tap it. But I, being a welder, was living the rig welder life. I had
nice truck.
I had a $100,000 truck. I had snowmobiles, and I had a mortgage, and I had all this shit. And you're just like, okay, it's time to smarten up here. So with the mortgage thing, I was like, okay, I got to delete the mortgage, but I'm not going to get rid of the asset. So turned it into a house hack. Actually rented out 2 of the rooms upstairs, university students that I knew, so that was
perfect.
Nice.
Yeah.
Basement, fixed it up. It was a suite, so then I rented the suite out. Geez, turns out I was cash flowing this place.
Yeah.
On top, and I'm like, okay, sick. And
we're on to something here.
Yeah, like this will work out. We can cancel out that $1,800 a month, and then I'm like, okay, now like next issue, and I started breaking. And then this is when I really noticed like how dumb vehicle payments are. Yeah. They're so dumb. But then I'm like, okay, this $100,000 truck's costing me like $400 bi-weekly or $500 bi-weekly. I'm like, this is dumb. What if I spent that on marketing? And so, okay, this has to go. So I sold that.
What did you end up like? Did you end up taking a hit on that guy or on the truck? Yeah. What kind of truck was it?
I actually did good.
Nice.
It was a 2020. So what year would have this been? Was this 2022 probably? Right? That lines up.
Yeah.
I think. It was a 2022 LTZ Duramax. it wasn't lifted, but it had tires, rims. It had, you know, the fancy kickbacks with the like custom engraving and stuff. Like I spent all the money on it.
Yeah.
And like none of that seen it back. But I actually got like, that's when trucks went crazy.
Right. Yeah. Because all of a sudden the used truck market went bananas there for a bit.
Stupid. Like a used car dealership bought it off me for, I don't know, like what, 88?
Fuck yeah.
And I was like, this is actually cash in my jeans. Like,
yeah.
I actually thought I was going to come out zero on this.
Yeah, totally.
And I bought a like $6,000 Honda Civic. And like I actually missed that car. Like that thing was a beater, but I missed that thing because it's like I don't know what it ran on. Like it didn't ever fill it up with gas. It just ran. Like like $30 for a month of gas. It just kept going. And there's no maintenance. Anytime everything broke down, you just pop a fuse in it and it fired right back up. And
That's funny,
sweet, you know? Like yeah, I just had a real like moment of reset on finance, and I was like, okay, never financing a sled again. That was dumb, you know.
Well, I see guys do it with the sleds, and I'm like, fuck, like that thing gets used maybe, like, you know, like how often does a guy really uses the sled? And
well, before I knocked too hard on sled, I love sledding.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Like, and I still own sleds, but I will never take a loan on one again.
Yeah,
if you can't afford it in cash, I think it's a horrible idea. Go back to work before you take a vacation sledding. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Like, especially because that is such a depreciating. You can't call it an asset, but that is such a depreciating toy. Like that thing you will never win on.
And that's kind of what I mean too. Like it's a toy that's, you know, yes, we have a lot of winter here, but even the last few winters we barely got snow. Like, so it's tough to be paying monthly for like every month for a fucking toy that's getting used maybe like 4 or 5 times in the winter for trips or whatever it is. But all my buddies got the fucking sled on finance. And
$20,000 sled that, well, in all fairness though, real estate's allowed me way more time to go sledding.
Yeah, totally.
Last year I rode 19 days in the mountains.
Nice.
Which I've never had the opportunity to do.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like most guys are grinding in Fort Mac to own that sled
because now you got to pay for all this stuff, and you need to pay for the truck to haul it out there, and it's like, okay, this lifestyle's not worth it. Yeah. As fun as it is, you
gotta figure out a different way here, boys, to fucking be able to
there's got to be a different way we can go sledding, you know? Like, but yeah, I don't know, I just did a total reset, and then like I had like this moment of like, oh, I don't need to make 250. Like actually, you know, because my first year wasn't a crazy year because I shared all these sales with this other guy, and then in fact I only got 40%.
Really,
on each commission check, and I was doing all the running. We ended up doing 87 deals, which
fucking right,
it's crazy, but I did all the work for it.
Right.
And I don't think people realize, you know, how often your phone's ringing if you're doing that many transactions.
People struggle with this, man. Every girl I've dated has been like, how really busy can you be? And I'm like, fuck, you'd be surprised how much my phone rings, man. Like you'd be shocked. And I can only imagine when you're doing that many transactions, because when you're doing that many transactions in real estate, I'd also imagine that you're probably only actually closing maybe 1 in 5 or whatever, right?
No, I've got a pretty high close rate.
Okay.
Because I'm not hard sell.
Yeah, that makes sense.
When my buyers are writing, they're writing.
Right.
Like, and like when I take a buyer through a house, I come in and I'm like, hey, this, foundation's cracking, this. Yeah. So by the time we get to inspection, there's not usually, oh man, 15 grand in repair bill, like, oh, we're negotiate. No, like, you knew this.
Yeah.
We wrote knowing this. We're buying it or we're not buying it. Like,
right.
So, and if you're not buying it, like, unless something really crazy goes on, I probably drop them as a client even, because it's like, don't think you guys are ready for this step yet.
Right.
Because, and like, unless it's like actually something, you know, that you weren't really expecting. But no, like when I don't go throwing too much paper around.
Right.
There's agents, you run into them. I remember when I was training my buddy Zach, I was just like, man, you got to slow down. Quit writing so many offers. He's like, what do you mean? It's more deals. I was like, yeah, but like close one, you know, like, you know, like close one.
Yeah.
You can go write 50 lowball offers, but you know, one's got to, like, you got to make one stick. And you start noticing that around with the older agents. They're like, lowball, I'm not writing it. Don't have time. Like,
that's right.
Unless it's a really good client. Like, I got some investors who, like, they're hilarious, dude. They lowball, and then they'll pay too much for something. And you're just like, I told you to buy that one, and now you're paying too much for this one. No, but we like this one. Well, okay. Like,
that's fine. But yeah.
But my guys usually close. I don't go crashing deals very often, and it's not because I'm forcing anybody through the sale. It's just they know what they're buying.
Yeah.
I try. The thing about real estate is if you do, you got to work with lots of sellers to make money. Like, buyers kind of keep the lights on, but you need listings. That's how you can get the highest leverage on your time. It's like a storefront, right? Like, you can have, put it this way, it's like, if you were to look at it at a, like you said, how many, you know, active deals you have on the go and how many you close, I think the general rule of thumb in, like, well, this isn't for me, but for maybe like an agent in like BC, I think every 2 offers you write, no, every 4 offers you write is 2 accepted transactions and then like 1 of 2 close.
Right.
Out there, which is crazy, like a 50%. That's horrible.
Right.
I'd say out here, like, we close, I don't know, I crash like 2 deals a year for me. But yeah.
When you say that, crash 2 deals a year, like what does that mean exactly?
Like where you get accepted on a place and you start to go through the conditions. Usually it's financing and home inspection. Those are the 2 that will crash a deal for the most part.
Right.
Those are the ones, like, if the buyer can't get financing, basically I don't show unqualified buyers. There's just no time for that. And if something crazy shows up in the home inspection, they back out of the deal.
Right.
That's like a crash deal.
Right. Okay.
I've had a couple crazy ones that just didn't close. That's a long story for another time, where like it was a good deal and just the money never showed up.
Right.
Which is crazy. It's a huge legal issue too. Not for me, but you know, the buyer and the seller, like, a huge problem. But yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, if you want to actually leverage your time and you had like 10 listings, well, you could have 10 people looking at your properties in one night. But if you've got 10 buyers, you can't show 10 different buyers houses in a night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can work with, like, I think I've got the appetite to work with like 2 to 3 buyers at a time. Depending on how they're trained too, they might be low maintenance buyer, and it's like he wants to see like 1 or 2 houses a week.
Right.
You know, he's not pushing too hard. Sometimes you get a high maintenance buyer and they're like, we want to see 4 houses every second night.
Yeah, eh?
And it's
in
like,
a rush almost too, or?
Well, that's usually that's a new buyer in the market. And that's how I can kind of gauge it. It's like they really, or it's an uneducated buyer. And they need to see it, feel it, understand it. And then eventually what happens with those buyers is they slowly see less and less houses. And then they kind of just disappear for a bit. And you're like, I lost this guy. Because they've now educated themselves on what they want. And then they kind of come back and they're like, we want to see that. And then you know, because after you've shown them all this stuff, you're like, you know that's the one.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah, before you go, you're like, we're totally riding on that tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. The game on real estate, if you actually want to do high volume, is listings.
Right.
Unfortunately.
not bringing in a shit ton of buyers, right?
Yeah, and actually
Can't sell them anything if you don't have listings, I guess.
Well, you can. Like,
Right.
Are you familiar with how it works?
Well, like a yes and no, not from like I said, like I'm a buyer who's like looking for their first home in a sense, but at the same time not even ready.
So I mean, then
So-
let's educate a new buyer. So
Yeah.
like, in fact, everybody should know this, because when a property gets listed on the MLS, me as a listing agent will go and sign a contract with the seller. And in Saskatchewan, our commissions are paid out by sellers. Buyers don't pay commissions. So we will negotiate that commission at the table. We will offer usually half. It's supposed to be half. You offer half of that to a buyer's agent to incentivize them to bring you a buyer. So the seller's paying and the listing agent's paying, if that makes sense. Now, the other reason that's good is it avoids the conflict of interest between the agent who's listing the property and the potential buyer and the seller. So what's called a double end is where the listing agent represents the buyer and the seller. I actually don't like doing that. I've had to do it. Sometimes you have to do it in like small town. If you're listing small town, local agents will intentionally not show your properties.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy. It's weird. But sometimes you got to go double end the deal to represent your seller.
Right.
Anyways, that's called a dual agency situation.
And you'd kind of prefer not to do those?
I would much rather either represent one side or the other, because if I'm representing you and we're going to go look at houses, if I also have a relationship with the seller, how can I fully represent you and negotiate on your behalf and look out for your best interest if I'm also looking out for the sellers?
Right. Because then if you're like show up with the buyer and you're like, but yeah, between me and you, like check this out on the fucking foundation.
Yeah. You know, like how
Yeah.
can I fully represent?
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. We're good.
So the other thing is too, like, the negotiation tactics change completely. Like, the games we play are crafty because we still got to be ethical, but there's like a different way that you can kind of, I don't want to give too much info, but like depending on what type of house it is, like I've called certain agents at like they were claiming to be sleeping, and I've called them 9 times in a row at that night to force an offer that night, because that's one of the things listing agents will always do. They'll always be like, hey, leave me time. Like, I just need time. No, you don't. You're just trying to buy time to get another offer and force it competing, and now we got to fight over it because it's a hot market right now.
Right.
So I've called listing agents 9 times, leaving the offer open for 2 hours, telling them we need a response tonight or we're not buying it. And that's representing your buyer.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have that urgency if it was also the seller. You'd be like, wait for tomorrow.
That makes total sense.
Got another buyer looking at it tomorrow. Maybe I'll get another,
Maybe they'll come
grand.
in and fucking,
a little higher.
20 grand more. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So that makes total sense then, actually, because I've thought about that too. Like, oh, well, if you might as well be the seller and the buyer if you have a good listing, but
it depends. Some sellers want to see you sell it,
right?
which is weird because then, like, I usually sit down and explain to them the benefits of either side. Like, okay, I can sell it for you and I'm incentivized to, but at the same time, when we get into a negotiation, you're going to see why
Right.
I'm going to represent you differently. And the games we play, dude, is so crazy. Timelines on offers and all kinds of goofy stuff with contracts that is just wild. Like, as a listing agent too, like, well, here's another good example. If you're a listing agent, and because I've had agents attempt this one on me, if you're a listing agent and you have your own buyer for that property, and that buyer wants to write an offer, the ethical thing for you to do at any point, if you get an offer, especially if you're looking out for your seller, would be to call every single agent who's shown it in the last 24 hours or later, whatever the showings volume was, and be like, hey, we've got an open offer on this property. We'd love to, deal with you, or actually I always word it like this. We have an open offer. I just wanted to make sure you didn't miss out on the opportunity if you'd like to write an offer. And what that does is like, oh, we got a chance here. And then all of a sudden you usually squeeze out 1, 2, 3 more offers, and you come back to the seller and you're like, here you go. It does a couple things. You've shown them that you're working for them.
Right.
You've also brought them to realization on price. It's like, hey, we've got 3 offers, okay? We've pushed them as hard as they go. They know they're fighting over this, and nobody wants to pay more than this. Sign here. Like,
that makes sense too.
You know, it's nobody, like, if you want 450 and we've got 3 offers at 400 and they all know they're fighting over it, I'm sorry, dude, it's 400. Like,
you're probably not going to get that 450, and if you are, we're going to have to wait even longer.
2 years.
3 years. We got to wait for inflation to go up for you a bit here.
I've done it where if it gets that grindy, it's like, okay, like if there's that many competing offers in that exact situation where I know I'm not overpriced on it, it's like, okay, well, you know, I'm going to send you this offer to sign, or I'm going to send you a cancellation of the listing agreement. You choose which one. Like, take the listing back or sign the offer, because I'm done working with you. I've done that actually.
Because realistically, it's probably a waste of time if bro thinks that he's like, well, I need 600 for this. I need it. It's like, well, I'm sorry, man, but I don't think anyone's coming in at 600. We got the highest offer is 5, you know? And then so if you just keep, well, no, I want 600. Well, okay, well, you might have to find a new real estate agent there.
And part of that, though, one thing I learned really fast is different cultures deal differently.
Yeah.
You will notice that.
Yeah, I've noticed it myself a ton, and I think anybody in sales learns that. Yeah. Sometimes what we do for the windows is we'll come in high and then expecting them to be like bargaining with you, and then when they start bargaining, then it's like, okay, well, yeah, we could probably do this, give you a bit of a, you know, and then they're like, okay, yeah, do it up. But realistically, that is pretty much the normal price. We just know that folks like this tend to want to bargain on every single thing.
I don't know, I'm not from these countries, but it's just, you can, what's crazy is I always argue my case by data. I'm like, this one sold for this one sold for that, this is what it's worth. That's usually how I argue my data. You can show that to that particular culture and they will say, don't care.
Yeah.
Unless somebody comes down 10 grand, I ain't buying it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so then I've seen it where it's listed for 50 grand too high, but they got for 25, they got 25 grand off and they're pumped.
Right.
Like, good deal. It's like,
whatever, but hey, it's just interesting how you got to play.
Man. Like, I tried to sell you the one that was a good deal, but you want this one. So, okay, I don't know, like, had that happen. And,
that's so interesting.
You know, you're just like, okay, like, I don't know, but you got to keep that in mind too when you're listing for some of them, because it's like, he tells me bottom line 650. His bottom line's probably $599. You know?
Yeah.
like we've got room here. So yeah, I don't know. Everyone does business a little differently.
So tell me about you weren't ready for your friends to stab you in the back.
Oh yeah. We didn't come back to that. You're gonna find out I'm spaced sometimes. But you know, maybe it's because of how I was coached in real estate. Because, like I said, I wanted to build a business. I didn't want to be a salesperson. And when, like, your classic coaching in real estate is, you know, they basically you can almost count how many deals you're going to do based on who your sphere of influence is. I'm sure you're familiar with sphere of influence, what that means, right?
Yeah.
People who, you know, are in your inner circle that you know, right?
Yeah.
The people who are closest to you are likely going to be your biggest source of business. That's your general rule of thumb. So when your buddy, you know, right blatantly in your face does a buy and sell with somebody else, or purchases a first home with somebody else, or better yet, my favorite, lists it with me, cancels the contract before it goes live, I do the right thing by saying, hey man, no problem. Like, I'll just tear up the contract and don't worry about the photos, man. Like, I'll just, when I've got them.
To soak, I'll soak that.
Yeah, you know, don't worry about my $500 photographer cost that went out there. I'll just keep the photos. When you're ready, like, we'll list it again. Does a list and buy with somebody else, like 6 months later.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know, she did get a little more money, but he put like an extra 20 grand in the house, and I actually think he got less at the end. And I'm just like, dude, you know, like,
yeah,
like you just, like, that one just burns, you know, or like you're close. It's your close buddies who are just like, first couple times it happened, I was like, just floored. Because the funny part is, when I was a new agent, it felt like people were there to help.
Yeah.
They're like, we'd love to support you, you know? I started getting some traction, and then it was like spite. And then I got one guy who used to be like one of my best buddies. He's like, I didn't hear it from him himself, but he apparently told another buddy, like, I'm not going to use you, or I'm not going to use Tristan to prove a point. Whoa. Like,
yeah.
You know, like, okay. So not much of a buddy then.
Yeah.
Right? Like spiteful for what you've gotten to. And then I remember, like, my dad telling me, he's like, I don't know what you're pissed about. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, dude, like, your friends, they want to see you, they don't want to see you starve, but they don't want to see you do better than them.
Yeah, that's true.
So he's like, so just take it as a compliment, wear it, and continue on.
1000%. That's good advice. Take it as a compliment. Yeah. And I think it's a fucking dog eat dog world. Like,
oh, it's vicious.
Yeah,
it's vicious.
Especially real estate sales.
It's
fucking
so vicious.
when you're making your living off of sales, especially when you have to have an abundance mindset. Like I'm a Christian guy, and a big part of me is like always trying to think that God's going to give an abundance of everything. So there's going to be abundance of sales if you work hard, you do the right things.
Yeah.
Eventually you're going to get sales, and there's going to be an abundance. There'll be enough for me, enough for you, you know, and we'll all stay fed if we do the right things.
Yeah.
But lots of guys are just fucking scared of, like, their fucking new friend getting better than them, and now they're just like, oh, I'm gonna fucking do what I can to make sure that I get that sale and before somebody else does. Like, whereas, like, I don't know, I always think like it's the same thing with, like, any business, window cleaning. If your competitor calls you and starts asking you, like, I'm not gonna steer him away the wrong way. I try to have that abundance mindset, even though sometimes it'll creep in where, oh, well, so-and-so from this company is asking me about how many sales we've done. I might just tell them, oh, it's been such a slow month.
Yeah.
Instead, where realistically, we've just been fucking going. I'd maybe tell them, like, yeah, we've been going real busy here. We're busy there. Like, what about you guys? Like, you know, oh, maybe you should try this. Because I try to keep that, you know, like I said, abundance mindset.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes you really notice it in other guys, where they're just like, screw you, bud, I'm gonna try and fucking fuck you over to get this sale right now to fill my own pockets. Like, so it's true. And then your dad's advice, or take it as a compliment. It's true. They're threatened by you.
Well, and like it happened in a timeline where made the biggest sale of my life. I'll never do it again. Like, there's no way. And you want to tell your buddies, right?
Yeah.
You're like, this is crazy. And like, I can go into that.
Sure,
It's actually, there's probably a lot of big realtors who've probably never had that experience. And I just got lucky, like, fell into it in my lap.
Yeah, let's hear the story.
But point being is that it came shortly after that, where this guy's like, out of a point, I'm not going to use you. And I'm just like, I guess I should keep that closer to my chest, your big successes, even though, which sucks, you're supposed to be able to share those with buddies, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's the point of having buddies, is like, You're supposed to celebrate and win together,
Uh-huh.
right? So
Win together, lose together.
that's supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
So I found out fast who your supporters are. Like, I quietly say, you want to find out who your friends are, just get your real estate license. like seriously.
Yeah. Super choked right now that the camera cut out halfway through that podcast, and we didn't actually realize. So we might have to just have Tristan on for part 2. He told us a crazy story about a massive deal that he did on a farm one time. But we did get 45 minutes of the video in, and yeah, geez Louise, it stinks that the camera cut out and we ended up not being able to get the whole podcast done. But we did end it off by saying thank you so much, Tristan, for coming on the pod and telling us more and more about real estate in Saskatoon. About 45 minutes of the podcast got cut off, so we definitely are going to have him on again. I feel bad for almost, kind of wasting a bit of his time by not even getting that on camera. But yeah, thank you very much, Tristan, for coming on. You're awesome. And hopefully you can come on again. And hopefully we can make sure that the freaking video doesn't cut off, because that stinks. But thank you guys for watching. And I hope you guys enjoyed Tristan and enjoyed the entire pod for what we captured. Yeah, I don't know. That was a hiccup on my part. We need to make sure there's enough storage. But yeah, thanks, boys.